let me start. Welcome to the Inner Space Covent Garden talk. Our talk today is changing your luck. Are you always running into bad luck? Is that even possible? Do you feel you're the unluckiest person in the world at times? I think at some point, we've all questioned ourselves about that. Are you ready? Are you ready to improve your luck? And if so, how? By filling your life with lucky charms? Or does luck happen by chance? Or is it a coincidence? There must be something that we can do to create our own luck. Actions, attitudes that can make good things happen and build better outcomes. So we've asked our speaker this evening to share how to feel more empowered and change bad luck into good luck. Our speaker, Ricardo, is joining us from Brazil, Sao Paulo. He's worked in real estate. He's been part of an engineering company. He's lived in Hawaii, as he's just mentioned, but he's also managed and volunteered for NGOs, particularly one where they were storytellers, coordinating storytellers for sick children in hospitals. He's now part of the coordinating team for the Brahmakumaris, not just in Brazil, but for Latin America. Ricardo is going to be sharing with us for the next 40 minutes. After that, he's going to do a meditation. The idea of the meditation is that all the ideas that you've been hearing, it's giving you space to allow those ideas to sink in deeply to an experience. And once you've had an experience, it's a tool you can use in your life. After that, he'll be taking your questions. So please send in your questions via the question and answer link or via the chat, and I'll take those questions and put them to Ricardo on your behalf. Ricardo, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you, artist. Thanks a lot for the invitation. It's very nice to be here this evening with all of you. And such a special topic, changing your luck. And a few days when I received the invitation to be here today, I started reflecting on my personal journey, on my personal experience around this topic. And let's go. As you can see, English is not my first language. I'll do my best to provide a good communication. I prepared some slides and I'll start to share some of these slides, okay? And let's go. So, thinking about today's topic, changing your luck, I thought a specific focus for this talk would be rethinking destiny and inner capacity. Because if we consider the common sense on luck, we may get things like it's seen as something external, as something unpredictable, something you cannot control. It's out of me. Sometimes it's connected with fate, external circumstance. It's controlled by chance. And many people may consider luck as based on the place where the person was born, opportunities you receive, timing and coincidence, and definitely may be connected to that. But as we go through the talk, we will bring other reflections on that. And as I mentioned a little bit before, many times luck is considered something completely out of our control. And there is even a term called blind luck. Yeah, something out of nothing that happens. And okay, but what we'll see today, it's connected to the things that are closer to our choices. And there is one sentence I was thinking that when some people think about luck, they might think about destiny in this way. Oh, my bad destiny is already decided. There is nothing to do about it. Yeah. And based on this perception, when many people try to change their luck, they might think of things like, let me wait for a better opportunity, what, and which is something that's good. Yeah, many times we have to wait for better opportunities. Sometimes we may think, let me wait for the right moment. And some people might even try to rely on some kind of superstition and so on and so forth. Okay, but based on the experience meditation and this spiritual study, while preparing for this talk today, I was thinking about another way to deal with this, another way to face whatever is happening in our life and to see the future ahead. So there is one question we may ask ourselves. What if luck is not external, but created? I remembered a quote that some people attributed to Lao Tzu, some people attributed to Mahatma Gandhi, whatever, whomever is the author of this quote, it doesn't matter right now, but it does have a very nice meaning. Some of you may already have heard it before. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. So, apart from who spoke that at some point in time, doesn't matter right now, but there's a nice reflection here. This chain, this connection between our inner world, the thoughts that we create, that reflect in our expression through words and actions, and then we create patterns, we create habits, and as that solidify, we are creating our history, we are creating our journey. Yeah. So a lot of what we talked about today is related to that. How to work on this inner seed, the basis where everything starts. And even before thoughts, we can talk about watch your consciousness, because my consciousness comes before my thoughts, according to the way I see myself, I see people, I see the world. So will be my thoughts, and then this whole chain, this whole process. And then talking about consciousness, I know many of you are aware of Brahma Kumari's talks, courses, and activities. Something I will talk a little bit about now will be just like a short revision for many of you, but I did feel it was important to bring to the talk. There is one example I remember to illustrate that. It's related to the famous Italian artist Michelangelo. In the 16th century, he built a very beautiful statue of Davi. I think this is the right pronunciation, made out of Carrara marble. It's a statue of 5 meters. Yeah, it has 5 meters tall. Yeah, and people around that time asked him, how did he build David? How did he build the statue? Because if you see a block of Carrara marble, okay, nowadays like that, maybe 400 or 500 years ago, it was different. But anyway, you see a piece of Carrara marble. And Michelangelo, when he was asked that, he said, well, I didn't build David, I uncovered David, in a sense that from a raw piece of marble, he already visualized the artwork he was creating. And I was thinking about this example because for each one of us in our path of self-progress, self-development, one very important aspect is the vision we have of our own selves, the consciousness we have of ourselves. I'm not a raw piece of rock, but internally, I'm really like a artwork. So it's a vision that's connected to some things we learn in Brahma Kumaris that I'll bring here. Those who did the foundation course in meditation have heard some things like that. But if we think about ourselves, the essence, the core of all of us, as we learn in meditation, is made of positive qualities. Yeah, purity, love, peace, and so on, benevolence. And when we hear that, we may think or may argue, but what about other aspects of my personality? We understand that from this inner core, we express our virtues, but all of us, no exception, we, throughout our existence, we've developed a kind of a crust, an external crust of acquired traits of the ego, of our various characteristics and habits, and so on and so forth. But the inner core is positive. Yeah. And this is the first thing we learn when we start practicing meditation. And even to talk about luck, destiny, which is the topic today, I thought it was important to visit a little bit this concept as we go further in the lecture. And before we go through another deeper aspect, some other details on this title, I thought it would be nice for us to have a 1 minute experience. And it's really 1 minute. I was revisiting some older websites of the Brahma Kumaris, and there is one from 2006. There was this international project called Just a Minute, in which people were inspired to make little pauses of at least 1 minute from time to time to center themselves, to experience inner calm. And then I selected one of the meditation commentaries of the project. It's very nice. It's from a very experienced teacher called Anthony Strano. He passed away 12 years ago, but he left a very beautiful legacy. So I'll play the song right now, the meditation commentary. It's really 1 minute. And then after this 1 minute, we will go through the other aspects of the talk, okay? So I invite you to breathe in deeply a few times if you want to stay with your eyes open or eyes closed, sitting comfortably.
Taking just a minute, quietly I remember my original goodness, my original identity, going deeper inside to that sacred point of self-awareness. I relink with my spiritual self. I remember I know who I am. This spiritual recognition empowers me with dignity and assurance. I rediscover esteem, uniqueness, purpose. Now, from this point of reference, I can interact within my social and material reality with empathy and enthusiasm.
Yeah, this is just a very simple exercise. And of course, we have other kinds of deeper meditation experiences and so on. But anyway, the thing is that with such kind of thoughts, we are able to align ourselves to this inner positive core and to feel more centered, to be in this awareness of our inner being. And when we are in this awareness, in this spiritual awareness, it then reflects in our mental attitude, our vision towards the world, which then reflects in our thoughts, words, and actions. And according to that, the experiences we have. This would be a short chain to summarize what we'll talk about now. Some key insights to consider. The basis for changing our luck, to changing our experience based on what is being said, is to nourish the seed of keeping this spiritual consciousness, not only through this meditation, but through spiritual study and so on and so forth. Understanding, realizing our inner value, and to realize I do have the capacity to bypass situations. Nothing that is happening to me would be forever, in a way that somehow through situations, through recent and through older situations, positive and challenging situations, all of those helped me to get to the point I am now, and I am in my present condition. But each one of us, we have this positive raw material inside of us with this capacity to bypass situations. But for that, we have to experience some inner shifts. And I was thinking about three main inner shifts which are important in this process. Maybe if another speaker was here today, he would share other aspects, but based on some personal experiences, I thought about sharing about these three. The first one is to, okay, I may want to change my luck, to have different experiences, to have different outcomes. But before that, let me do a self-assessment, evaluate my present life, and appreciate what I already have in terms of my qualities, in terms of my potential, and be very honest and transparent to myself regarding what I really need. For instance, when we see the topic of today's talk, changing your luck, maybe some people thought, oh, I went to the shop to buy my newest iPhone, but it was not available. What a bad luck. For other people, maybe their luck is connected to have food to eat, and so on and so forth. But apart from extreme situations, on a regular situation, let me be very true to my real needs. What do I really need? And be more appreciative to what we already have. I remember when I was a teenager, and I was around 14, 15 years old. And I remember at school, and I would complain to myself because I'm not a tall person in size. I have a short size. And I remember in sport activities, playing volleyball and basketball, I would complain, oh, I wish I was taller. I wish this, I wish that. And that went on for, I don't know, 2 years with these complaints inside. But then after a while, I had a realization, oh, maybe I will not be the best player in volleyball or basketball, but so many things I'm able to do. I have good marks at school. I have this, I have that, and so on. And then all those limited complaints I had about my life started to fade away. And okay, this is a very common and simple example, but many of us sometimes we have some complaints regarding some physical aspect, some material aspect that if we go really deep and we see the whole picture, we see that's so small compared to what we are able to do in life. And so let me share it again. Appreciation and contentment rather than a scarcity mindset. Always in need. I need this, I need that. What a bad luck I have. I don't have this, I don't have that. Yeah, this scarcity mindset. And sometimes an expression of greed may happen, yeah, to have much more than I did need, which not it does not mean to make a vow of poverty. It's not like that. We do have to work for our livelihood. We have trips. Everyone who has family to pay the bills and so on and so forth. All of that is important. But the thing is that is when the earning becomes much more important than the living. And I am there just, I'm in a situation just to have more, more, more. That's it, it would be the opposite of this contentment and appreciation. Another shift, inner shift, I was thinking that is very important in this process to be the architect of your luck or the architect of your destiny is related to the attitude of giving. Yeah, the more we offer positive words, the more we offer positive company, the more we offer positive feelings in the office, in different circumstances, the more that returns to us. Yes. And especially especially in a situation that not always there is respect or not always there is love, but you take up the responsibility. I am the giver. I am the giver. Let me give. But for that, first of all, I have to be able to give love and happiness to myself. No, in the chit chat before the talk started with Sister Artie, we were talking a little bit about that, of having genuine me times in our agenda. Yeah, we have time for the job. We have time for this person, for that person. We have time. We give time to this assignment, to that assignment. But throughout the week, how many genuine me times do we have to read the book we want, to watch whatever we want, to listen to the song we want, to do whatever we want? Yeah, to be able to sometimes say no when you are unable to do something. Yeah, one act of love sometimes is to be able to give love. I was thinking about that as well. And this nice quote: "What you give, you receive." And a third big inner shift. This has been something very important for me throughout the years in Brahma Kumaris, which is connected to balance. I will repeat a little bit of what I was sharing to Sister Art in the beginning. Many who are connected now were not connected at that time, but just to make it clear, I remember in the first years of practicing meditation, I had a very hectic schedule, my day-to-day life. I used to study in university at night. I used to work full time in the day. And anyway, um, I was not taking proper care of my body, of my diet. Yeah. And there was a time that there was this click, this aha moment, this realization. I felt no one would be able to take care of that for me. Other people could suggest, other people could inspire, but the final decision to take care of me should start with me. And then I started an inner movement to observe more moments in my regular week, to have these special me times, not only related to this balance, mind and body, but also balancing self progress, the personal growth, with general responsibilities. I can share that in the beginning of my meditation practice, I was so focused in being a light, in meditating and so on, that I realized that I became a little bit careless in giving proper attention to my closer relatives, especially my parents. And I was not giving the care that I could. And after some time, after realizing that, I realized that it was not a part of being spiritual is to express this spirituality and the virtues you acquire wherever you are, not only when you are meditating. So throughout the years, I started this movement, this inner movement of rebalancing both my relationship with my own body, but as well my relationship with my relatives. And it's so nice that how uh, it transformed throughout the years. My parents, my family, they are very cooperative with the choices I made in my life. They do respect my the path that I chose. They from time to time they even come to Brahma Kumari's programs, And anyway, different experience from the first moments when I started on this path. But let me share the screen again. This understanding that the more you start to having mind and body balance, and a balance between your personal growth and your responsibilities, the more blessings you receive. Otherwise, suppose the person is such a spiritual person, such a meditator, do this and do that, but the body is horrible, such a deteriorated health because of lack of attention to the body. There would not be blessings from others. Other people would feel mercy. Or the same, you lead a spiritual life, you pay attention to your personal growth, but you don't give regard to your responsibilities in family, or you don't perform well your responsibilities at work. No, of course, the progress, the personal progress is the basis for all of that. But we have to have the general picture. So this quote that balance creates harmony, harmony attracts positive outcomes. So another reflection is related to life, to a vision towards life. When we see life as a drama, as a play, in a play there are different roles. There are the victim, there is the villain, sometimes, many times, there is the hero who is victorious. Many times there are the commentators of others. And in this play of life where I am living, what do I want to be? Which role do I want to perform? Yeah, do I want to be the protagonist of my life, or do I want to choose any other role? This is something I was thinking today about after a class we had, an advanced class. And another thing, sometimes we may compare ourselves to other people. Oh, I should be doing that. That person should not be doing this. And I really like this quote from one of our advanced classes that says, "Not two souls can have the same part." You know, we may be similar. We may live in the same environment, but each one is unique. Starting by me, you know. So each one of us, we have something unique to express in life. All of us have to learn. There is a very nice sentence I read once in Ken O'Donnell's book. Ken is the coordinator for Latin America. In one of his books, he wrote, no one is better, no one is worse. All of us are different, and all of us are important. So all of us are important in this play. All of us have our part. Coming closer to finalize this first part of the talk. Another thing I was thinking is very important in this vision of becoming the architect of your luck, let's say like that, is the understanding of time. Some very known reflections. It's not anything new for anyone I'm aware of, but I do feel it's important to always remind ourselves of that. It's like each day we are writing the book of our lives. We cannot change what we ate for breakfast today. We cannot change the beginning of this year, what to say the previous years. And at the same time, the pages of the book of tomorrow are not ready yet. So this sentence that is very well known, that the only real time is the present. So to see ourselves as creators in the present. In the present, I have choice. In the present, I can learn. In the present, if I fell, I can stand up again. In the present, I can move forward. But I cannot change what has already passed, you know. And some things that might be important for me, these are very important things. That's why I thought about sharing today's program. To be able to apply a full stop to unnecessary situations, to think too much about some things, some people. And I do feel meditation practice helps us a lot in that, to simplify our thoughts and say, okay, it had a meaning. I will reflect on that, but life moves forward, and I also move forward. To be able to reinterpret some challenging moments. This is a process I personally have been through in the last years, doing a lot of journaling. I know many people like to do journaling. And anyway, it's not simply to start writing. It's good to have some positive guidance, in a sense of some positive reflections. But when it's associated with meditation, we can have very nice experiences to reassess some past experience when you are in your best. How can I reinterpret the same situation? It has been very important for me. And the last one, to be able to forgive some people, some situation, and to move forward. You know, anyway, life moves forward, so I don't have to hold an anchor. And the last thing to share before Sister Artie start asking the questions about the role of faith. This is connected to one class we had this morning in our advanced class in Brahma Kumaris. But a lot of our day-to-day progress is related to how much we agree, we realize we can offer something better than before. You know, so this first faith, which is the faith in ourselves, there is the the Christian proverb, but it's very true, and it appears with different words in different traditions. As you sow, so shall you reap. So apart from how this year moved from January till now, apart from the previous years, once I have an aha moment, a realization, and I choose to sow something different, in a short, medium, or long term, I may reap different things. And also faith in a higher guidance. Many people who attend our activities are aware of the Raja Yoga meditation in Brahma Kumaris, of this connection first with our positive core, but also this connection with the divine. And it's important to have this redefinition, a new understanding of the divine, not someone who is to blame, to punish, but someone who is accessible, who is loving, benevolent, and who is there to help. And just another quote, this is from today's class as well. I really enjoyed, and I felt it was connected to our talk today. Fix your fortune with determined faith, and you will remain constantly carefree. You know, you set an aim of personal development, for your well-being, for your growth, to bring more virtues in your expression, in your interactions, and you move forward. The last thing before Sister Art bring the question, I will play a song. It's a very beautiful song called Road of Gold. It's just an excerpt of the song. I'll play 3 minutes of the song, but it has a very beautiful reflection connected to the topic of the talk today. And after this song, we invite Sister Arte to come and bring questions if there are any, okay? So you may consider that as a little exercise of meditation. You can stay with closed eyes, open eyes, okay? And just reflect on the lyrics.
So pack up your weakness, consider your goodness. Let the past be the past, let this moment be true. When divinity is yours, then forgiveness is the healer that mends a broken heart and restores a broken dream. May your heart be as light as the mist upon the waters. May your eyes be as bright as a beacon in the dark. May your words be strong as the love that lies within them. May your life be like a game that you play before you go. There are secrets to tell, there are secrets to treasure, there are burdens to lay down and to carry no more. There are messengers who come, who will guide you on your journey. If only you will listen, oh, if only you will hear. The old man is standing and he's waiting for your answer. Can you find the courage now, or will you be the slave of time? The cage bird, it sings of the blue skies and the sunshine, never realizes that the door is open wide. So believe in your goodness and shine through your darkness and face all your fears with a smile and a wave. All the tears that you have cried are now turning into diamonds, and every road you tread is a road that's paved with gold.
Hello, Sister Artie. This song is from a singer called Lucinda Drayton. It's called Road of Gold.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a beautiful way to end and have a meditation with a song. Thank you. So let's see. There has been a question or two come. Let me see. Here's a very good question. I feel like I want more me time. I enjoy being on my own and in my own company. Is it normal to want this more and more? So I guess maybe the question is, how do you keep a balance of having me time, being able to fulfill your responsibilities, your relationships, because we're not asking anybody to step away from that, but also how do we maximize our me time?
Yeah, it's a nice question because sometimes there might be a thin line before in terms of I am respecting myself, I'm making choices for myself, and suddenly I become careless with my responsibilities, with my relations, with my assignments at work. I think there is not a red answer. Yeah, it's something very personal. It's not like that. The answer is like here. But for me, what I see is that I try to make the best usage of my free time. No, I have my regular timetable. The moments I meditate, the moments I study, of course, meals, transport, and so on and so forth, other responsibilities from the household, the moments a week or throughout the month when I visit relatives and so on. But there are some moments that I feel that are, I don't know if there is this expression in English, unnegotiable. Is it right?
Yeah,
You know, something that it's for you. Yeah? Like for me, going 3 to 4 times to practice sports is something for me so important for my well-being and for my life that many times I'm able to say no for other assignments. Non-negotiable. Thank you, Lanka, who wrote in the chat. sorry, sorry for the language issue. But just as we we do not neglect to eat, we do not neglect to take a shower. There are some things you choose for your life that are very important. For instance, for me to have regular times of meditation on a daily basis is something very important. Yeah, to have moments to read some positive content books is something very important. So it's an exercise of self-reflection, self-evaluation, of checking my personal condition, what's really important. An image that I feel that is very meaningful is like that. Do you know those old scales that they have those plates? Suppose you are in the center of this scale, but this scale, it has not only two plates, but it has many plates. And the various plates, they represent the various areas of your life: work, spirituality, health, family, other relationships, and so on and so forth. And I see myself in the center. What are my values? What do I consider as mostly important in my life at this point? And I see how I am using my time and my energy in these different plates. And I see uh, the day will continue with 24 hours. This is a basic thing, but it's a good information. We'll keep having 24 hours, but within the 24 hours, what can I remove from one plate and add to the other? Maybe one plate, it does not make sense anymore. Or maybe there is one plate that is not here that I want to implement. So it's a self-reflection exercise. And based on this, we can see how much time we can use for these me times, as you asked.
Thank you. The next question is, what are your favorite ways to stay positive in challenging times?
Yes, I remember one class in Brahma Kumaris some years ago that really touched me. There was the following sentence: for the time you can breathe, you can think, and you have time, you still have a lot of life to go forward. So there might be a great storm, a very heavy storm of situations, difficult situations on my own, with other people in relationship. But this sentence became like a north for me, you know, for the time you can think, for the time you still can breathe, and you still have time, you still have life ahead. So, as was being mentioned in the beginning of the meeting, this ability, all of us have to bypass situations. It might not be from night to day, but once internally you lit the light of trust that it's possible that you stand still no matter what. This is the kind of statement that I've been using for myself.
Very interesting. You found something that's going to give you a north and keep you stable and moving forward. I find that very interesting. Thank you. Mm-hmm. The next question is, what is the role of karma in this setting?
Oh, it's definitely connected to almost everything that was spoken today. I purposely didn't use the word karma because sometimes for some people there might be a kind of prejudice on karma, on the word karma, but it's definitely connected to everything that was spoken about today. Yeah, the word karma means action, not only action, all flow of energy that I emanate around in terms of my words, my actions, my thoughts, either positive or negative. And then there is the law of karma that is connected to that Christian proverb, as you sow, so shall you reap. So definitely, I didn't use the word itself, karma, but it's completely connected to the whole content of today's talk.
Can you give an example, just so for those who haven't really explored that particular topic, how do you explain it?
For instance, during the talk today, I gave this personal example of my relationships with my family. Yes. In the beginning of my spiritual practice, the karma I was expressing was of lack of attention, lack of care, and the return I was receiving from that was the experience of discontentment, the experience of disharmony, of feeling bad because of because of my behavior. But once I realized that was not correct and decided to change what I was expressing, I started to express a different karma. I started to give attention. I started to give more love, to give more regard. And one day, 1 month, 1 year, many years. And as years went by, the karmic result was a better relationship, harmony, cooperation, love, and regard from both sides.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very good example that we are giving. Um, you use the phrase, as you sow, so you shall reap. Well, if you give regard, if you give respect, it'll come back. If you give love, if you're compassionate and kind, it will come back. But what if you are those things and it doesn't come back? Do you have to wait 10 years?
Well, I think that what's closer to our sphere are the choices we make for ourselves. You know, for instance, I may have a clash of in a relationship with someone. We have a disagreement. We had a service meeting, a work meeting, and anyway, the meeting became tense, and both sides left the meeting with negative feelings and thoughts. And then after a while, I have a realization. I become aware of my behavior. I become aware of what I didn't like in that meeting. I also have blaming thoughts for the other person. But instead of keep attacking and keep blaming, I look more to myself and start working on my response, on my energy. And then I meet the other person once again and once again, but the other person didn't change. The other person didn't change, but I decided to change my response. I was remembering this example that many kinds of conflicts is like the clap of 2 pounds. By the time you decided not to clap, if the other person wants to keep clapping, he'll find someone else to clap, either in the same place, either in other city, either in other country. But you decided the pathway of peace. So I may not change the karma of other person, but I can decide the change of my karma. So even if the situation seems the same, because the other person is the same, I may have decided the way I want to respond, no matter what.
That's interesting. So, if you have chosen peace instead of argument, as is the example you're giving, and the other person continues to argue, they could get even more upset and heated because they're not getting what they expected back from you. Yeah. And so in your peace, do you just put up with someone being abusive? They've gone from angry now to abusive. Do you put up with it, or what are you saying? Could you just clarify that little bit for us?
Whoa, things are getting deeper here. Yeah, one thing is that being peaceful does not mean to being passive, you know, but silence is a positive response, but sometimes it's not the response. Sometimes the person has to present him or herself and be honest about his or her feelings, but not in a harmful way, giving back the same energy you received. But if internally I check myself, I reflect myself, I understand that the negativity was the way the person expressed himself, but the person in his essence is positive. As we saw in the talk, the part of the talk today, I can, if I am able to separate the negativity from the person, and then I talk, the words will be softer. Because the opposite is also true. I may have heavy feelings about someone I had a conflict with. And then I go to talk to the person with sweet words. I go to talk to the person with gentle and loving words. But if internally I carry angry feelings for that person will not feel the gentle and sweet words. The person will feel the vibration of anger and animosity. So always apply a break to check my own self, clean my feelings before emanating the words.
Okay, I understand why you were saying it gets deeper and deeper. I think we all do, because you're asking us to do in-depth work to take it that one step more. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Ricardo, so many people have said thank you and that your English is beautiful and very easy to understand. So thank you for that. It's amazing. I didn't say this at the beginning, but I will say it now. The Ricardo stepped in the last 3 days. I called him in Brazil. I managed to find his number and gave him a call, and I don't think he was expecting a call from me at all. At all. The original speaker is stuck on the other side of the world, where if she was to do the talk, it would be close to midnight. And so she's in a beautiful place and having an amazing time, but it just wasn't time. The time wasn't right for her. So her luck is still continuing, and our luck has opened up, as they would say in India, because we've now got another amazing speaker that we can call upon, but not last minute at all. Next year we will ask you in advance and ask you for a topic of your choice. So thank you, thank you, thank you, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts for such a
Thank you.
talk.
Thank you very much.
And all that's